Hey guys, what's up? This is Ron82, and this is the fourth time I've tried to do this commentary because my kids. But anyway, I thought I'd get a little bit of a different intro today. It's been a little frustrating this morning. I've tried to do this video about 4 times now. And I don't know, I've had a bunch of difficulties. One from my daughter screaming in the background, then halfway through the video she comes up to me and unplugs my headset, and so yeah, they're both laying down, so hopefully this one goes good. So what I wanted to talk about is the PS4. The PS4 or the Orbis, whichever one you want to call it. I'm going to call it PS4. Orbis sounds dumb. Sorry PlayStation, Orbis sounds dumb. But so I don't know, everybody knows it's probably going to be the PS4. There's about a 90% chance that it's going to be a PS4. The Dreamcast had a Katana, I think was the code name for that. It happened to be a Dreamcast. I know that's a little different situation, but yeah. So let's get into this. On February 20th, there is going to be something that is going to be released about the PS4. Nobody really knows anything about it other than the people at Sony, and I don't know, it could be a buttload of information, or it could be a bunch of circles, X's, squares, and triangles dancing around on the screen, like the last video they did. But who knows? I mean, there could be a lot of information. It could be like a release date information. I don't think it will be. But with that being said, we could push the way that consoles are going to be pushed. For example, the PS4, they could say, "Hey, we're going to come out with this thing in July," or something like that. I don't know when they're going to put it out, but they could say, "Hey, we're already in development for this thing. We may not have enough consoles for everyone in July, but for the people that really want it in July, you can have it." And if they do something like that, I mean, that'd be awesome. But with that being said, there might be a little bit of a price jump, according to, like, assuming the Xbox doesn't release their system for another 4 or 5 months after that. So say, oh, I don't know, that'd be a little bit late, that'd be like December or so. But like 3 or 4 months after that, be around October or November, and I mean, Xbox will probably have if it happens, Xbox will probably have a more steady launch, but the PS4 is going to have a lot more sales at the beginning. It's just a simple fact that people want the next gen console. They are tired of this console that is being drugged down, and nobody can play these like games that they want to play at like a full 1080p. And because, like, if you don't know, now games are played at like 526p or something like that, and it's upscaled to 1080 or 720, whichever one you play on. And the only true games that are 720 is like Uncharted. I think MLB 12 or MLB 11-12, the show, are true 720p games, and that's the reason. The only reason that is because they're specifically designed for the PS3, and I don't know, those games were designed with the processor in hand, and you could make better games on the PS3. It's just the Xbox has held them back. So with that being said, the PS4 there's a lot of specs that have been rumored and a lot of specs that have been changed. For example, I think it was a month and a half ago, they said that the rumor was supposed to be 6 gigabytes of RAM. Then Xbox said, "Oh, we're going to come out with 8." So this is the good thing about the, I guess, competition in consoles. There's just this huge competition in consoles that when one company says they're going to come out with 6 and the next company says they're going to come out with 8, well, the PS4, they're like, okay, well, you're going to come out with 8, we're going to come out with 8 or maybe even 16, which would be awesome. Like, 16 gigabytes would be awesome. I know I said it would be pointless to have 16 with the Xbox, but the reason that the PS3 was held back so much with like party chat that the Xbox had and stuff like that is because it just didn't have enough dedicated RAM. Both of them had 512 megabytes of RAM, But the difference was the Xbox had one chip and the PS3 had two. It was like two 256 megabyte chips. And with having two, it makes it harder for the system to read them both at the same time, and which in case gives you a little bit less RAM. Just, you know, maybe another 12 or 13 megabytes of RAM they could have put party chat in. But with it having the two, it takes out about 12 megabytes from each chip to run it fully. And that was the reason that the PS3 could not have party chat. And I really do believe whenever the PS3 went down for all that time, they were really trying to bring out the party chat. But it's just, I mean, they had a lot of time to develop it, but it would have been probably a dumbed down version anyway. But I don't know, it almost would have been pointless for them to release it and it not work the way everybody wanted it to work. Only work half the time or anything like that. But with it maybe having 16 gigabytes of RAM, then maybe the Xbox will bring it up to 16 gigabytes. If they're wanting to invest in these things for the next 10 years, like they basically have for the last consoles, then I think 16 gigabytes will be needed. Maybe not right now, but in the future, I think it will be. So the processor is supposed to be similar to an AMD HD 780 or 7850. But the only problem with that is on a PC platform, that processor would not be able to run games at 1080p and 60 frames per second. With that being said, the difference between a console and a PC is the console is a dedicated processor to whatever it needs to dedicate itself to. So say you're playing a game and on the PC, you still have things running in the background. You still have these programs that don't really need to be opened at the time, but they are. So like with the PS3, PS4, Xbox, all these things, you can run things at a higher quality than what you can on a PC just because it's dedicated to whatever it needs to do. It doesn't have to worry about all the other things. So with it not being able to run at 1080p at 60 frames per second on a PC, it's a little bit different on a console. And it can run, theoretically it can run at 60 frames per second at 1080p. Now, with that being said, I think they should probably come out with a better processor. I think everybody would agree that they would prefer a console in the last 2 to 3 years of its life cycle not to be completely, pretty much obsolete. A half a gigabyte of RAM right now is literally, like, you can't even get that anymore, I don't think. So, they need to step it up, and that's basically the gist of that. Obviously, it's going to have a Blu-ray. Everybody knows it's going to have a Blu-ray. There's no way that it's not going to have a Blu-ray just because of the fact that they released it so early with the PS3 that it wasn't even like the #1 supported type of disc. Now it is. And Xbox is going to have it. There's no reason for it not to have a Blu-ray. I know Xbox is looking into a technology of having their video streamed. PS3 does a little bit of that, but I mean, there's no way that they're not going to put a Blu-ray in it. Maybe like it's a little too early to go to straight digital, streaming games from online or anything like that. And I think that's a little too early, but I don't know. Like with that being said, 5 years from now, that could be the standard. And nobody knows anything about the hard drive size. It's kind of pointless to worry about the hard drive size because there's going to be probably 20 different hard drive sizes. And also, it is pretty much confirmed that Sony will not allow you to buy used games. There's no way that they're going to. In fact, they've already came out with a patent that states that once a game comes out onto a system, you will no longer be able to use it on any other system. So with that being said, there's literally, I don't see any way that there will be used games for the PS3. So with that being said, like I said in the Xbox commentary, that's probably going to be the same way for either one. So that's given now. There will be a new controller. It's almost a definite, but it will still have a Blu-ray, or not Blu-ray, Bluetooth background. So like the controller that we have now is a Bluetooth connectivity, and it will still have that kind of connectivity, but it will just be a different controller. Nobody really knows anything about the controller yet, but there's a lot of patents with different controllers, designs, and I don't know. They gotta have a lot to come up with to choose the one that they eventually want to choose. Also, another thing is it's going to support 4K resolution. What that means for us, if you're a movie watcher anyway, you're going to be able to watch like theater quality movies at home. But playing on 4K probably won't happen, especially if they're going to use the processor that, or the GPU that they're going to use now. There's just really no way that you're going to be able to actually support 4K resolution at this point. It'd be super hard to run, and I don't know. Also, another thing is Team Bondi, which was the maker of LA Noire, or I don't know how to say that, said that their next game will be on PC and the next-gen consoles. But the only downside is they don't have a release date yet, so it doesn't really give us anything that is truly going to break our, I don't know, break out our mind saying, hey, this is when the next-gen consoles are going to come out. But it's interesting that their next game is going to be actually released on the PC and the next gen. It doesn't say that they're going to be released on the PS3 or the Xbox. And it's already in the makes, so they obviously have the development kit, so it's obviously ready to be processed to those games. So it's just within the next, I'd say no matter what, it'll be out by Christmas, in my opinion. So according to a Japanese source, the PS4 is supposed to cost around 40,000 yen. You guys are probably saying, what the hell is 40,000 yen? Well, it accumulates to about $400 US. But with that being said, the differences between like 5 years ago to now, the difference between the yen and the American dollar is about 50%. It's about 50% better than what it was 5 years ago. So it could actually cost a little bit more to maybe even like 50% more. Like, so it could end up being about $600. Now with that being said, PlayStation will more than likely, so they'll roughly put their costs near what Microsoft's is. So, it could be $300-400, but it may be a little bit more than what the Xbox is, which we come to expect with the Xbox being built in the US and all the pieces built in the US. It's a little bit easier for them to distribute it, and it costs a little bit more for PlayStation to actually ship their products. So that's about all I have for the PS4. So if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and leave them in the comments and let me know what you want to know, and I'll try to figure out anything else. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Tears, I dedicate this right here to all my non-believers and haters. Y'all doing me nothing but favors. Keep talking, I can't hear you. Someone go get me a translator. It used to get to me, to the old me. Think you could do better than show me. Those who know me least have the most to say. Don't judge me if you don't know me. Whether I'm a billionaire, flat broke, you think that matters? Is that a joke? If you ain't got talent, you really think money will get you anywhere? Nope. Or you wanna play music Monopoly? I've mastered the game, no tapping me. Taking over the world where the money adds up. I'm just passing go, there's no stopping me. I work so hard, I earned it. It's mine now.